Instead of feeling excited and like, oh, I can't wait to be here to have my baby, I felt really uneasy and I felt a little bit anxious. I show up to the hospital, and as I'm walking through the hallway, it's really familiar. I see the nurses kind of entering and exiting, and I can hear the machines. I can see the fluorescent lighting all the way down the hallway. At the end of the hall, I remember there was construction on the other side, and that definitely was a concern because most likely it would still be going on when I was there to have my baby. All in all, the information that I learned that day, it was things that I already knew. You know, I knew the medications that would be offered. I understood clearly what the routine was to get in and out of labor and delivery. I knew pretty much what to expect because I was very familiar with the process. There was nothing really amiss during the hospital tour. It was just that as I was walking back down through the main lobby about to exit the hospital, instead of feeling excited and like, oh, I can't wait to be here to have my baby, I felt really uneasy and I felt a little bit anxious. That's when I realized, like, I don't think that this is the place for me. I don't want to have my baby in the hospital. And it was a really, really big thought that entered my mind because the implications of it, I mean, oh my gosh. Immediately, the doubts started flooding my mind. I started to ask, like, what am I gonna do if I don't have the baby at the hospital? I didn't even know at that point what options I had. What are people gonna think? That was the other thing, because I was already so steeped in the process. I was 33 weeks. I had already joined the prenatal group, made relationships with so many of the moms. I was on track to go to the hospital. My husband actually worked there as a resident, so his co-residents would be there most likely. Everything was kind of perfectly aligned for me to have this hospital birth. And inside, my gut was telling me that this wasn't going to be the place where I would be the most at ease and where I would feel safe. So I had to kind of think like, okay, what do I do now? And I was honestly afraid of the criticism that I would face because I knew a lot of my peers would wonder, like, what am I doing? Because it sounded crazy, right? To not have a hospital birth when everything was aligned to do so. And yeah, like even some of my family members, I was worried, what would they think about me course correcting and going this other way? So at that moment, I decided that I had to just research and see if there was another possible way. So in that moment, I really decided that I did not want to have my baby in the hospital and I was going to need to find a different way. So I drove home that evening. I started researching online. I scoured the internet. I think I looked at every single birth method. I really dove in because I just wanted to see were there other options. And what I found was so many positive birth stories, women that were expressing these amazing birth experiences, and it gave me some hope. I also found really great statistics, particularly in the Bradley method, and it was impressive to me that 90% at that time of women that would take the class would have the opportunity to go on to have a vaginal birth. And I knew that those odds were so much better than what I would be facing entering the hospital because I knew it's 1 out of 3 women that end up with a cesarean. And I just knew like it would be me. I would be that one that would end up having to have a C-section. So my odds of trying something different, it seemed like it was definitely the better way to go. So the 3 things, honestly, that swayed me, because even though I did that research, I still was wavering, but the 3 things that helped me so much was, first, bringing it to my husband. When I spoke with him about my desire, he at first was a little apprehensive, obviously, because of our medical training, and he just wasn't sure if it would be safe. But ultimately, he said he would support me in whatever decision that I chose. And that meant the world because I knew that he would be by my side through it all. The second thing was that I spoke with my mother, and like talking to my mom, she just helped me to feel encouraged and to feel courageous, because she reminded me that she had me without medications in the hospital. And my grandmother, she birthed 5 children naturally. Of course, she was on the island. My grandmother's from Jamaica, so the medical system is totally different there, but she did that. And knowing that they both were able to do it successfully, it just gave me the courage that I needed to know that, one, I come from good stock, and 2, it was possible. I could do it. So that helped so much. And then the third was honestly just finding the data, like being able to see that it's possible, that it is safe, that there are women that are able to have their babies outside of a hospital naturally without complications. That was my biggest goal. So those 3 things were what helped me to make a change. And the reason I share all of this is because when you take that step out of your comfort zone, that is where change happens. It's relevant right now because I know many of you guys are at this exact crossroad. You're trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. But it's when you step out of your comfort zone into the unknown, that's where it opens up so many new possibilities. Stepping into the unknown is where you can end up having the birth of your dreams, the birth that you envision, that seems crazy, wild-fetched. That is outside of your comfort zone. And that is going to be definitely a different path, but it's possible. And even if you don't feel like it could be possible for you, I just urge you to rely on the strength of others. Look at those stories of women who have been able to do it successfully. I was able to do it by the grace of God 4 times. And every single birth was an incredible experience. And I was able to just be strengthened every time to know that everything was going to be all right. Of course, it's a scary process doing something that is so different and unique from what the majority of women do. We're really used to the system of being in the hospital, and it is a place where you can definitely have your baby naturally, but it does come with its risks. So you have to be prepared. You have to be educated and know how to navigate those systems. And that's exactly why I created our birth room. We strive to help moms and their partners be able to navigate the systems when they are going to give birth. And it's not just about shifting your mindset. We're going to help you prepare physically, and we're going to give you the tools that you need in order for your partner to be your advocate, to be your birth coach, to get you through the hardest parts of labor. When you do decide to step out of your comfort zone, you will find that you have so many more possibilities, and that's where you're able to get to your goals. But the beliefs that you're holding on to right now, those will have to shift in order to be able to have a different experience. And I'll just say, if you find that the beliefs that you're holding right now don't give you an advantage to be able to have the birth that you want, then shifting your beliefs is going to be the way to go. And we can help you do that. So like I said, I went on to have an amazing birth experience, and I followed that with multiple births that were positive, just full of empowerment. And I love sharing that knowledge and information with anybody that is really serious about having their babies naturally. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to helping you move from doubt to confidence in your birth.